Two, one. Good evening, everybody out there in Chester County and on my Facebook page. I'm telling you, I am coming straight live on City Town Talk. You like my background? I figured I'd just show off and dress it up a little bit because I'm going to have Derrick Morgan on this evening. And which I do, man. I am so glad that you guys are tuning in. Now, look, what I need from y'all, and you know the drill, I need you to get on your phones, get on your computers. I want you to share this video, share it with me, share it with all your friends, because it's not about liking my stuff, it's about sharing my stuff. So stop playing, you do that while I get it on my phone so I can see. And look, don't forget, if you got any questions, shout outs or anything, I'm one of the very few programs that I allow shout outs. So come on, give them a shout out. If you got any questions, because now, you know, a lot of y'all, oh, good. We got one person. Now, a lot of y'all over the last year, hey, Iris Holmes said, good day, good evening, Mr. Morgan. Iris Holmes, Daria Turner, and Mary Morris is watching right now. I'm so glad y'all tuned in and you're so on time. Oh, we got quite a few people in the background. Okay, now look. Remember, any questions, hit me up. We're going to answer them in real time. Let me give you a few announcements too. Got a great show this week. I got a gentleman, Mr. Tim Phelps, he'll be on tomorrow. He is from the transportation department. So if you want to know about some transportation, tune in tomorrow. He's like with the Link, Scoop, all them buses. So, and it's going to be real important, especially if you don't have no transportation. So tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. Then Thursday, look, I got my man, Ken Winston, Executive Director of the Melton Center in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Excuse me, and what we're doing, we're going to have, on the next few weeks, we're going to have people on our show who used to destroy the community, but now is building up the community. So this is going to be like really, really nice. It's going to be raw. It's going to be real. So you're going to have to be ready for this one. But we're going to show you how God can bless the life of a person who used to be like this, but now like this. So that's what I got for Thursday at 8 p.m. Ken Winston, tune in. Let's see, who else we got? Well, we got Christina Milborn, top of the evening to you. Now, what we do have also, Wednesday, food distribution down there at the CYWA, one of the best groups in Codesville. They loving up on some people. Food distribution is 12:30 to approximately 2 o'clock. I may be wrong about the 2 o'clock, so you better get there at 12:30 and stop playing. Also, Thursday, the same group, CYWA, will have food distribution starting at 1:30 to 3 p.m. And last but not least, we're talking about Pastor Kyle Boyer down there at Tabernacle Baptist Church on the 800 block of Code Street. They have their food distribution on Fridays, and I think they start at 10:30. Wait a minute, we got some Dallas Cowboy fans that just signed in. Jeffrey Washington, this is twice in one day. Good to see you, and I don't want no trouble because I'm an Eagle fan. He always gets me. So look, this evening we have none other than Mr. Derrick Morgan. Now look, for those of you who've been sleeping under a rock, Jeffrey, this might be important for you. Last year on Thanksgiving, CBS Sports did a special in regards to this gentleman who is my guest this evening, Mr. Derrick Morgan. And they did a great segment on him, his love for the community, what it is that he wants to do with this community. And I felt like it's only fitting on the anniversary of that we go and pull him back in and find out, well, just what the heck you've been doing for the last year. You know, so I am so glad that he is willing to come on this show once again. And look, first, before we even get started, Derrick, why don't you say a couple of words to all your viewers out there?
Fonz, I got to thank you first and foremost for having me on your show. I appreciate the opportunity, really just to have a conversation, man. So, you know, you failed to mention that you were actually the star of that CBS special, man. I got a lot of feedback, like, man, who is that guy, man, with the Coachville hoodie on and all that? So, you know, I appreciate you making a cameo.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Man, I had bad feet. My feet was hurting and everything walking with you, man. But I hung in there. I took one for the team. So now, let me see. Let me go over my things here. What have you been doing since the last time we seen you?
Whew, man. I could say it's been an interesting year. I think everybody could say that. 2020, we came into 2020, I'm sure like many other people with high hopes and, the year of 2020 vision and 2020 alignment and all these things where, we were looking at this year as like a catalyst for like going to the next level. My year has been interesting, man. This is like my second year out of retirement. So a lot of really a lot of learning, a lot of education. Making this transition into a new career is always you're in uncharted territory. So you gotta be humble and really eat humble pie and understand like you almost are a rookie again to some extent. So a lot of education, a lot of roller coaster ride, really, ups and downs, and just really it's life. But in the world of real estate and investing, especially with a pandemic, a lot of things really will catch you off guard, and you have to adjust, and you got to remain flexible. But I would say I'm blessed, man. Like my family's been safe. We've all been able to really get close to each other for better or worse. And it's been I would say I'm going to say it's been a blessed year for me and my family, regardless of all the other things going on. So I'm just thankful, man. I'm grateful that I'm still here, that I'm still talking to you, talking to the city, and looking forward to the future.
Man, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Let me give a shout out to Anthony Stewart. Anthony, I like to know, am I really saying your name right? Because I see them two N's and it throws me off as an Anthon or Anthone. You let me know. Kendra Wilson said, this looks like it's going to be a good conversation. It is, Kendra, so don't you go nowhere because we're getting ready to do some talking. Kia Tony, one of my special people. She takes care of them seniors up there in the towers. Appreciate you, Kia. Iris, the question that you have is on my list, so I will be answering it. Now, I can't give all these shout outs because we got to ask them some questions. But look, they go Miss Vanessa Briggs. She's a champion in the city. Donald Anderson, Shanae Taggart, Marsha Harris, top of the evening to you. And we're going to take this thing away. Now, look, you mentioned your family. So, look, let's talk about your family. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have since found out since our last year together that his wife, Miss Charity, is a world-renowned vegan chef. So I want you to tell us a little bit about how you got into the vegan chef. How does it benefit the community? And just like, how can we get in touch with her? Because a lot of us ain't eating right now, and I'm one of them. But I don't like vegetables. Yeah. But talk to us a little bit about your wife and this era vegan stuff.
My wife, I'm lucky, man. When I met my wife, I was on a college diet. I was eating pizza, chicken fingers, and just drinking soda. I was eating bad. I had a bad diet, and I was 21, right? And so you coming into the NFL, I'm not eating right. So my wife, when we met, she looked in my pantry like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? So she started throwing things out, and she started going to the grocery store, and we started shopping differently. And so 5-6 years in, I was going back to report for training camp. And every year they give you a weigh-in. They give you a target weigh-in. And so mine was like 263. And if you're like a pound over in the NFL, you get fined. Like, I think our fine was like $700 a pound. So I was overweight, like 3 or 4 weeks before reporting back. And so I was looking at all these different ways to lose weight. And I came across the plant-based diet. And I was working with this nutritionist, and I was like, I got to lose weight. She's like, have you ever thought about going vegan? I'm like, I can't go vegan. I got to push people around for a living. And she's like, nah, you can actually do it and sustain your protein and your muscle. And so I didn't believe it at first. So I just started doing a lot of research. So I started looking up articles. She started sending me things. And long story short, I went and jumped on the vegan train first by myself. And that was a mistake because I had no backup. And so my wife was still cooking regular. And so I eventually convinced her to make the switch about 2 months in. And it really, man, it saved me because I was eating terrible. I was just eating the same thing every day. And so once she got on board, she started cooking vegan. She was like you said, she's a Le Cordon Bleu trained chef. And she started cooking vegan. And that's when it became real easy for me. You know what I'm saying? So like all your favorites, your mac and cheese, your fried chicken. She made fish and chips the other day, like Oreo cheesecakes, like basically anything that you can dream of and think of like that's not vegan, she can veganize it. And you know, it was an easy transition.
Man, look, hey, look, now wait a minute. Let me get some shout out because you done made me excited. Steve Brazel checked in, Kenneth Butler,
Right.
Charles, Chris Dickinson, Levi. It's always good to see you. Joshua Robinson, you know, we're going to do some business. Levi Bo Worthington's going to be on the show coming up in this new year. Kenneth Winston, I am so excited. You're going to be one of my main attractions this Thursday. I want y'all to tune in to Kenneth Winston. From destroying the community to building the community. Man, I like that title. We're going to tell you, we're going to show you what God can do with an individual. But anyway, now look, I want y'all to go to his wife's website. This is it. It is www.chefcharitymorgan.com. They got aprons. Look, she knows how to do it. She got the recipes on there, all that kind of stuff. Look real good too. I may have to try a little something. But y'all go on over there and give her a holler. She has all kinds of merchandising there. And I'm telling you, look, I felt like I knew a star. I don't even know the lady, you know what I mean? But that's besides the point. I'm seeing some people doing some stuff I ain't never seen done before. Danette Baker Murphy, love seeing you. Barbara Macon. Oh, Steve Brazel said foot stop. Yeah, I used to own an athletic footwear store there. Derrick, now let's get to some other stuff. Man, I'm just so excited about that. Now, have you been involved in any new projects, either here or where you live at or anything? What's going on?
Yeah, man. We've been busy. So I live here in Nashville, and you know, I just ended up staying down here after my career. I got 2 kids, and you know, it makes, you know, it's a really good pace for the family. So we've been busy. So we have several projects going on right now. We have one in Birmingham where we're working with a company called Bitwise. Now, Bitwise, what they do is they do technology training in really underserved areas, underestimated markets is what they call it. And so they come into a city, they take up a building, and they train the workforce and with technology skills so that they can actually go out and get jobs in those technology industries. And so we have a building under contract that we're fully renovating, about 30,000 square feet, and they're actually coming in and you know, becoming a tenant. And so they're going to start administering those services. So that's a project I'm pretty excited about. We have one out here in Atlanta where we have another building that we're renovating, and it's an old nursing home, but we're actually readapting the use for affordable housing. And so we're working with several nonprofits to really get people off the street, you know, people who are experiencing homelessness and in danger of getting evicted. You know, with COVID, a lot of people are like, their mortgages are in delinquency. And so people are starting to get evicted out of their homes. And like, you know, it could be the everyday person, like they get 1 or 2 bad breaks and it just starts to spiral out of control. And so we're working with the city on providing 50 affordable housing units in North Nashville. So that project's currently going on. And we have the third project we're doing in Atlanta is all around workforce and affordable housing. We're partnering with the United Methodist Church. They own the one of the largest landowners in the US are churches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of churches are land rich but cash poor. So they're trying to create new innovative models to really liquidate some of their land assets. And so we're partnering with them to develop some of the land that they have in College Park, right next to the airport in Atlanta. So that's about 31 units that we're doing. So we've been busy, man. You know, just trying to stay focused on the goals and really change lives and make an impact.
Hey, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, here goes some of my favorite people have tuned in. Miss Carla Alston, which she's one of our not so secret Santas, and I miss us this year. We're not doing it this year for the first year in 6 years. Steve Hyden is checking in. Katina Milborn, I have an engraved cutting board with your name on it and a scripture, Katina. It's a gift to you whenever I can find a way to get it to you. Text me your address and I'll deliver your Christmas gift. It's really nice. So I think I put it on your page. Tina Madsen of the Madsen sisters. Paul Frederick, top of the evening to you. And we're going to keep moving right along. This deal with the elephant in the room. I know my viewers saying, elephant? What elephant? this is the elephant. When you left, there was so much hope that, you know, something was going to happen in regards to the flat area. And we kind of like haven't heard any. Vanessa Briggs, she's CEO of Brandywine Health. She's talking to me. And the community has been asking me what has happened. Can you kind of like just elaborate on what has happened, your feelings, just anything and everything that's on your heart? Just don't talk about nobody.
That's hard. That's a hard one. Nah, I'm gonna keep it polished, man, the best I can. But as you know, man, like we sank a lot of time over the last really 18 months, man. You know, coming back, one of the first meetings I had was with the city was back in May of 2019. And you know what, Fonz, our posture the whole time has always been like curious. Like we had a lot of curiosity, right? Like we didn't come back to Coatesville with hey, this is the plan, this is what we're gonna do, right? Now, we could have done that, but that's not our philosophy. So we came back with the intention of understanding the issues, right? Like we all have our assumptions that we think it's this, it's that, but let's start to have conversations with the actual people who live here. Like I'm from Coatesville, but I haven't lived in Coatesville since 06. I've been in the South for the last 13, 14 years, right? I come back periodically and I still have family and friends up there, but I don't live there. So I can't come back to your city or the city that you're living in and say, hey, look, this is what we're gonna do. Boom, 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 boom. Like either get with it or get lost. That's not our philosophy. So when we came back, Fonz, back in May, it was more so of, hey, let's figure out from the actual people who live here, what are the main pressing issues, right? You know, the things that we kept hearing were the education problem. There was a huge education problem. I think that was around the time, Fonz, where you were leading your revolt, you know, with the school district. And I think I heard that they had a restraining order on you or something. You couldn't go on campus. So it was right around that time. So it was a lot of friction going on. And so we started down this train of like, okay, education keeps coming up. Youth engagement, like there's nothing for the youth to do. I remember actually when we were shooting that CBS special, it was an in-service day, which meant the kids were out of school, and we were walking around the neighborhood, and there wasn't no kids in the street. I'm like, this is odd. Like it was weird. Like when I grew up, it was like, okay, we're gonna pick up a basketball, we're gonna ride bikes, we're gonna do something, but it wasn't nothing. There wasn't no kids in the streets, and that struck me as very odd. And so we started hearing youth engagement. We started hearing like workforce development, jobs, and like transportation. There was a whole litany of issues, right? And so what our thing was, we can't be all things to all people. We had to identify basically what are the top 1, 2, or 3 issues that we want to address. We had a town hall in January. You were a part of that, Fonz, where we had probably around 100 people come out and we took surveys. And I took, time and hours to go through those surveys and say, okay, these are the things that keep reoccurring. And so what happened, Fonz, was, the flats is city-owned land, right? So that land is owned by the city. The city has
freezing on me. Derrick, you're freezing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you was froze up there for a minute. Got that bootleg internet. See, that's
man.
messed up.
Hold on, let me get to my hotspot.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna say, Kyle Murphy, it's good to see you. Kaya Scott. No, wait a minute, Vanessa Briggs. Yeah, I hear you now. Vanessa Briggs said housing and technically driven employment, all good for building communities. Lisa Morris checked in. I just want to let people know while you're doing what you're doing. Jarrell Brazel. Wait a minute, Steve said Tennessee dollar. Steve, did you go to college down in Tennessee? Put it in the comment section. All right, Steve, go ahead, back at you there, my man.
Steve was down at FAMU, if my memory serves me correctly.
Okay, yeah. Hey, man, those freckles.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know where I cut out, but basically, man, the whole concept of what I was saying was we were putting together a plan that addressed the issues, right? So the original plan was very hyper focused on education. So we were working with the school district at the time to put together a magnet school that focused on different types of STEM education. We were talking to different partners, and then right in the middle, like towards the end of our due diligence period, which is like, it was about 3 months where we figure out what we're going to do. We put the money down, we come back with the plan. The city came to us and said, hey, on the flats, we just want commercial use. We don't want educational use on the flats. And there were some reasons there, neither here nor there. So we said, okay, all right, cool. We had to think about that, process it. And then we had to pivot our phase 2, which was a sports complex and food hall, to phase 1. So we said, we can't start with education. We're going to start with, the sports complex, this event center, and this food hall. And so the city said, cool. And so we went down this line. We ended up bumping up right up into the end of our due diligence period, right? This is a large project, Fonz. Like, these things take time, right? To go through the holiday season, in 3 months, having to switch your plan halfway through it, more than halfway through it, and then present it, which is what we did. A lot of money was spent, a lot of resources and time were spent getting to this point. So when we got to the point of asking for an extension for the city, they denied it. So simultaneously, there was another bid that was submitted for the flats. And so, there were conversations with the other group. Now, what the other group wanted to do, or what is planning on doing, is a velodrome. So some people don't know what a velodrome is. I don't know what a velodrome is. I had to Google it. So a velodrome is this large racetrack where they ride Olympic bikes around it. And so this was a plan that was proposed earlier on the flats several years ago. It didn't work out. And so we were talking with them about partnering and, what did that partnership look like? For a lot of different reasons, it didn't make sense for us. So we said, you know what, we're going to keep going ahead with our plan. The city put us in basically a competitive bid against each other. And so over the last 6+ months, the city has been going through, really the RDA has been going through a due diligence process. They've been soliciting information, asking a lot of questions, gathering information. So what happened, Fonz, was like, what I was told was that the project was going to come down to who could fund it, right?
Yeah.
That was the main issue. So what I did was I reached out to my network of investors and I said, hey, look, this is my project. We're in an opportunity zone. This really benefits the community. We have inclusiveness. Here it is. I got 10 letters, Fonz, from investors all across the country saying that they were willing to write a check as soon as we won the project, essentially. I personally put up my own capital to fund it as well. And so we presented all these plans to the city, gave it to them, and they basically took, several months to process through it. Long story short, they came back and they said, look, well, they voted on it, the RDA, and they said, look, we're going to go with the other project. Now, it was somewhat of a split decision, but we didn't win it. And so what's currently going on now, Fonz, is that the RDA is going through a process with the other project. That project will then be submitted to city council, and they will vote on it to approve it or disapprove it. Now, I didn't come on here tonight to throw shade, to talk about other people's projects or whatever, the city. I'm not here for that. But what I am here for is from an informative perspective. I am fatigued and tired of seeing people come from outside of a community in the middle of the night. The community doesn't know what's going on, and things happen behind the scenes and nobody's shedding light on it. I see it happen way too often. So my whole purpose is to say, hey, look, when I talked to the city at the town hall meeting, I said, look, I'm not that guy who's going to come in here and leave and just give up or whatnot. What I'm telling you is we fought until we couldn't fight no more, right? And what I want the city of Coastal to know is like, look, this is what happened. I know there's all types of narratives going around our project. He don't got the money, they ain't got the plan, that whatever it is, that ain't what it is. I got nothing, I got no other reason to be here than to make an impact. I'm not here to make a buck. That's not my intentions. So this is where it currently sits. We submitted our information. It wasn't good enough for some members of the RDA. And really, I want the city to understand what's going on behind the scenes. So whatever project finds, whether it's my project or somebody else's project, the city needs to be informed. That was our whole posture. The whole process was making sure everybody was informed as best we could of what was going on. We weren't behind the scenes shaking hands saying, hey, look, this is what it's going to be. We was like, nah, this is what it is. What y'all think? Let's have a conversation. Let's go back and forth. Let's come to a decision. So now what I want the residents to know, Fonz, is like, look, everybody hears about the opportunity zone. What does that mean for a resident? And if I could be blunt, it don't mean nothing to you, because I'm gonna tell you why. The program was set up for basically rich people who have capital gains. And capital gains is a fancy word for profits. So if you ain't got no profit, or you ain't selling no business, or you ain't selling real estate, you can't really participate in the opportunity zone. It wasn't set up for the community. It was set up for people who have gains to come into the community and do investment. Now, that's okay if it's done in the right way, if it's with the right intention and it's inclusive. But if not, then the community is in danger of getting gentrified. People are in danger of missing out on opportunity and being displaced. So my message, Fonz, is for the community of Coatesville to understand what's going on with this project and demand that they're heard. There needs to be a seat at the table from every community member voicing their opinion, saying, look, this is my city. Whoever comes in my city, they got to go through us, because we here every day. I don't know where you from, New York, Westchester. I don't know where you from, but this is Coatesville, and you got to come see me first. So I want the city to understand that they have that power to be vocal about what you want, to understand, like, I demand, if something's going on here, I need X% of the employees to be from Coatesville. I need there to be investment in Coatesville businesses, whatever it is. But I'll pause there, Fonz. I don't want to go too much on my soapbox. I'll pause there.
All right. Well, you just hold that thought, and we're gonna check some other people in. Jennifer Rosados, she checked in. Sliggity Holmes. Now I gotta see who Sliggity Holmes is. That's a real Sliggity name right there. Milton Young, top of the evening to you. Alan Tyrone Smith, this is a funded project. Shay Carter, Donna Rollins, she said 0. Steve Browser want to know, does this deter you from pushing for more projects in the city?
Yeah, it's a great question. And Brad, you can call me anytime. We could rap about this, but it's really, man, where I'm at with it, the overall goal wasn't the flats, right? Like, that's just what we were focused on, because we wanted to make it come to fruition. But the goal is to make impact in the Ville at the end of the day. And whatever that looks like, that's what we're involved. That's what we're going to be involved with. Now, I can't even lie and say like, am I wore out by this process? Yeah, I'm tired. I'm wore out. I'm wore out with this process. It's been a grind, and to come up somewhat empty-handed, it's mad frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be 100% with y'all. Like, we put a lot of money in. We put over $150,000 in over the last 18 months trying to get to this point. So yeah, I'm a little fatigued. But setting all that aside, the main goal and the main mission is to make an impact in the Ville, because I'm tired of seeing. I'm really hopeful. Let me switch that. Let me switch my energy on that. I'm really hopeful that, you know, things start to pop off, and things are going on positive in the Ville. There are things that are starting to progress. And look, we're not the end all be all. We're not the silver bullet, but we just want to be a part of the solution. And we feel like we can bring value to the city. So whether it's the Flats or somewhere else, we're still here to do that.
Good stuff. Good. Shay Carter, she's checking in. Shay, I think she's still out there. Mike said, John Shade Miller is watching. Miss Vanessa Briggs says, once again, community inclusion matters. And Miss Vanessa Briggs and myself and a few others, we're doing something that's inclusive with the community, with the community voice. Joshua Robinson said, all facts. Stansel has checked in. He said, I love it. Nadia Graves, who is a council lady or a person, I don't want to be politically correct. I would love to see a development of eco green, low income housing somewhere in Coatesville. Or you're getting a whole lot of everything. Barbara Lowe, Shan. Hey, if I can add my 2 cents just for a second. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
For people that come in that invest in our community to make a profit, I think they should be held to the fire to donate to some of these organizations that's doing nonprofits and impactful work. Now take for instance our turkey giveaway. I could count on you, and you made that part of a success. There's other organizations, and I'm sure they're doing big things, creating jobs and building buildings, but do they reach into the community and say, here goes an organization that's doing something, let's go drop by and give them something. And if they don't know where to start, then they need to become part of the community and find out how and who and where. Now, man, you just can't stay on the outskirts of town, build the buildings, and just bring it, start bringing it in. I think of Miss Susan Springsteen, who's building up a big business. She's bringing turkeys down to a turkey giveaway. I mean, there are so many people that's doing things when they see something happening in the community, and those who are investing in the community, they ain't dropping off nothing. But that's just me on my soapbox. So let me get back to you. Ricochet Hines just checked in. Terrell said the velodrome was a joke. Come on, man, stop playing. All right, Tracy Parker, she's in. So look, where did we stop? You got so many people that's commenting, and I mean, this thing is hot. Talk to me. What's on your mind? Let's continue.
Whew, man, you said a mouthful there, Fonz. I think if we're talking about just opportunity zones, right? Let's just dial in on that real quick. The major drawback to that program is there were not mandates that were put in place to do exactly what you just described. If somebody comes into an underserved community, whether it's in Coatesville, Nashville, Philly, wherever it's at, the people that are coming in there need to be operating on a certain type of guideline where the community actually benefits. Now, that could look like a lot of different things, right? It could look like what you just described, Fonz, is saying, look, whatever profit, right? We're going to take a certain amount of that profit and we're going to sink that back into the local nonprofits that are doing the work, that are on the ground handing out turkeys. Like, I can't do that. I'm not here, but like, I know you're doing that. I know people who are tapped in. Lisa Morris is doing that. Like Vanessa, like all these people are making strides, and they just need people to come alongside them, right? And help accelerate and amplify that. So I think that's one way. I think another way is like, there needs to be some type of, mandate for a small business fund to be set up, right? And whether that's just grant dollars or that's, loans, or there needs to be access to capital. And that's something that me and my team are working on. I've been talking with Miguel about this for the last several weeks, is trying to create some type of funding mechanism to get people access to capital. That's usually the main problem for like minority entrepreneurs and underserved entrepreneurs, is like they can't call their Uncle Chad and get a 50 grand check to start their business, right? So there needs to be other means of getting capital into these businesses, because there's no difference between an entrepreneur in Coatesville, an entrepreneur in Downingtown, Westchester, there's no difference. The only difference is opportunity. And so I feel like we need to be very, intentional about that, whether it's us, whether it's a project, a team that's coming in here from the outside. But to your point, there needs to be an intentional push to be on the ground, to be of the community, so you can hear the voice.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, let me say hi to some people. Tanya Wood, top of the evening to you. Tasha Wiley, Tammy Slamming Jared is watching. I like all those names, Tammy. I'm telling you something. Susan Springsteen has checked in. Small business. I think that's a typographical error, but Susan Springsteen said small business fund. And I'm going to just stop there about Susan Springsteen. She come to this community. I just met her about a year ago. She came in here and she done took the town by storm. And not only because of her investing in a business who is going to be a business incubator, she's hired African Americans to do the work. She has integrated herself into the community where something's going on, she's there. It's not just about making a buck. But right now, until I see the Velodrome people, I'm going to have a slight problem, because if they're going to invest that much in a building and all that, and I know the bottom line is making that paper, until you come and visit us down on our street corners, until you come into, I ain't going to say our churches, that's the first thing they do, but become integrated with the community. You understand what I'm saying? So we know who you are. You're not just a suit and a tie and at the end of a ledger sheet. So I'm gonna stay off of that, because I think that needs to be done. So I'm gonna shut up. All right, let me see what else. Is there any questions? Many people do not know that if you have a large life insurance policy that you can borrow money. Stansel is teaching people stuff about life insurance. Go on this line and this feed, and he will tell you more. Now, where are we at? Okay. Now, do you see yourself, have you had your eye out on anything in the Chester County that may be worth your investment or your interest?
Yeah,
you don't have to tell us exactly what, because they're going to steal your ideas, right? So just a yes or no. This is the only yes or no I'll accept, man. But what do you think?
Yeah, the short answer is yes. In real estate, you always got to remain opportunistic. You can have 5 irons in the fire from 5 different projects, and 4 of those projects may fall out and you left with 1. So you got to have some diversification. So yeah, the short answer is yes. Like we are, I'm trying to think how to say this. The idea of having flexibility in a project and the say so is very appealing. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. But what we're really trying to understand, Fonz, is like the last time we put together a plan, this was pre-COVID. A lot has changed in the last 9 months. So what are the issues now? I know what COVID really is an accelerator. There were already cracks, right? What COVID has done is it's accelerated those cracks in the foundation, and now there's just gaping holes. So it's exposed what was already vulnerable. So if somebody was teetering on that poverty line, now they're just poor. They're whether they were in and out of a home, now they're homeless. Like there's all these things that COVID has come along and just amplified and accelerated. So it's a different environment. And where I would say we're starting is having platforms like this. Like I want you to read like comments. So like if I would say like, all right, Coatesville, give me your top 3 things of what you think is needed in the city. That's where I would start. I would re-ask that question and see what feedback I get back, because that's going to shape my thinking. I'm not going to say we're going to do 50 units of affordable housing, or we're going to do a school, or we're going to do whatever it is. Those are all great things, but I need to know what does the city want to know? What does the city want to see? And that's going to shape our thinking on it. And it's a collaboration. And so that's where I would start, Fonz, is really asking, like, getting more information and understanding, like, where do people see the needs being right now in this current environment.
So what would you like to see moving forward for the residents of Coatesville?
They got to look, that it's basically, I have ideas, right? I have ideas, but those ideas don't mean nothing if that's not what the need is. So, you know, it's really it's a combination of sorts. And so I want to see Coatesville thrive. There's no reason why we sit in the richest county in Pennsylvania. And if you look at our geography, man, like we're very close in proximity to a lot of things. We're less than an hour from Philly. We're less than an hour from Lancaster, Harrisburg, Maryland. Like Coatesville is a very central location. And there's a lot of things that are going on. You mentioned Susan Springsteen with Nth, like hats off to her. Cause if I'm not mistaken, her headquarters were in Exton. And so for her to take the time to really like that's an intentional move.
Yeah.
To move your HQ from Exton to Coatesville is a very intentional move.
Yeah. She dug into game plan.
You know what I'm saying? And so like that's putting your money where your mouth is, and that's really doing the things that are needed. It's intentionality. It's not a photo op, right? Like it's not a, hey, I'm here. I donated this. Take my picture. Give me the good press.
Yeah,
that's not sustainable, man. It's about empowerment and it's about creating opportunities. And so where I want to see Coatesville, you know, in 5, 10, 15 years is like self-sustainable. We got more income streams than waste management. We are on our own. Our dollar is circulating within the community and people are creating wealth and opportunities, really. And so that's what I want to see. I want to see more of that. And like I said, like, you know, there are things going on. Like I said, Nth, like I think the train station is like starting to come online. So like things are starting to pick up, and all that is going to be is like a compound effect. And so, you know, that I see a bright future. It's just like laying the foundation to go vertical, you know. And so I'm excited.
Good stuff. Okay, Nadia Graves, she checked in again. She said a bus every 30 minutes. Well, Nadia, I think maybe you need to check into my show tomorrow night, because I'm gonna have Tim Phelps, who is the executive director of Transportation Management Association of Chester County. Now that's a whole lot of names and a whole lot of initials, but you come on at 8 o'clock and we're gonna address that thing about buses every 30 minutes, because he's in charge of the Scoot bus, Oop bus, and all them other buses. So you tune in, because ain't nobody playing with nobody. We putting them on this show. You got questions? They got answers. Okay, let's see. Miss Briggs said job opportunities with livable wages is needed. Brittany Jax, she's new, just checked in. Ducky Parker, we need boys clubs and girls clubs. Naja Jax is watching. Dion Brown Hogarth is watching. Hey, now, I have Dion Brown Hogarth. She is the mother of this gentleman named A.J. Hogarth, who is a guard for Michigan State Spartans, man. Keep your eye on there. They're moving up in the ranks. I don't know what they were at place 8th, but they're rising up. So he's an up and coming star from Coatesville. And we have Jameer. I shouldn't start naming them, because if I forget somebody, people are going to talk about me like a dog. But we got Jameer Brickus, 6-foot guard from LaSalle, who is tearing it up, and his brother, I forget his brother's name, but he's tearing it up with Villanova. I mean, we got some excellent athletes. They're not just athletes, but they're educated and they're going to school. Student athletes, that's the word I'm looking for. So I'm excited about them. Oh man, we still got people checking in. You got a couple of minutes. You got a couple of minutes. Can you hear me?
Me?
Derrick, can you hear me? Christopher Bottoms, he's checking in. I think Christopher's over there in New York. Tara Anderson, Monica McHale, it is so good to see y'all. Apprenticeship, man, look, when you finish, you read all this stuff that they're saying, because this is almost like, because you'll be able to see this on your end, right? This feed.
Yeah.
All that stuff you be talking about, you want to hear from the community and stuff like that. They hit it up hard right now. They coming at you too, boy. Bam. I love this. This is good. I know this show is going to be so big, because I can tell by the numbers but people that's responding. But now, okay. So where do you see yourself in 4 or 5 years? Have you thought that far out yet?
Yeah, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
You're afraid. That's
It's the way I look at it, man. I'm here on mission, right? Like all of us are here. God has given us a purpose in life, and we are here to be effective in that. And so for me, if I feel like I'm here to change, really to change lives, to change communities, and I feel like God is equipping me and my team to do that. And so in 4 or 5 years, like, it's hard to say like tangibly like what that looks like. All I want to do is look back and say, okay, I kept showing up. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm making a change. I'm making an impact, and I can see it. And I'm not living in any state of compromise. I'm in a state of being at one with God and understanding that I'm here for my purpose. And so, that could look like a lot of different things, man. So I'm just taking it each day and showing up. Like, I'm gonna be real, man. It's hard to sometimes look out in the future when the world is going crazy around you. You're just trying to make it through the next day. So I'm just really focusing on finds is like showing up each and every day. Hit my routine in the morning. Being present with my family, having balance in my life, and doing God's will. And if I stay on that track, if wherever I'm at in 4 or 5 years, I know I'm be in the right place.
Wow, wow, wow. I had the opportunity while Derrick was going through what he was going through, we had the opportunity to pray over the phone, man. And it's one of the very few times that I've like when I say I'm gonna pray for you, I don't pray for you right then and there. I go somewhere by myself and pray. Because I don't want nobody hear me stumbling all over words and everything. But we prayed together, man. And my only thing that I want to encourage you to do is don't quit before the miracle happens. You know
Amen.
what I mean? Because right now it is my belief that God is perfecting you for that very, very moment when boom, bada, bing, the floodgates open up and the needs and the desires of your heart that's going to be impactful to the community is going to spring forth. I feel that because you wanted to quit there for a minute, but you haven't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate like Fonz's support has been amazing. People that's on the line like that I talk to still, the support has been amazing. Like, I really appreciate the people like yourself who are on the ground doing the nitty-gritty work that the cameras don't come out for that stuff, but y'all are doing the real work. Brandywine Health, like what you're doing, Fonz. Like I said, Lisa Morris, Susan Springsteen, Miguel Torres, like Braz. I know you up at the school coaching. Like, people are in the community doing the work, and like that's what I'm saying. I'm just a part of it. I'm just here to like help amplify that stuff. So like, hats off to y'all for doing the work. I want to reemphasize, like, whether it's the flats or not, we're here for the long run, and this is a continued collaboration. I'm gonna get back on my Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook in a minute, but like I realized a lot of my Coatesville community is on Facebook because I've been on Facebook since like 06. So a lot of the people I grew up with and went to school with are on there. So like, I'm gonna be like on there, like, conversating more and understanding what the needs are. And so we're working towards other plans, and we here for the long run.
Man, that's good stuff. Kim Pollard, you're a little late, but you can catch it on the repost, Kim, because I'm going to play this thing again and again. Monique Butler, thanks for stopping by. Let me see. Is there anything else I got to say? I haven't eaten dinner yet. Look, I want to thank you, Nadia. You on Twitter? Somebody wants to know, are you on Twitter?
Yeah. I'm on Twitter. I don't have it on my phone, but I'm on there. DMorg91, DMORG91 on Twitter.
That's a shame. I don't even know how to use Twitter. I got it, but I don't know how to use it, build an audience or nothing. But look, Is there any other questions out there in Coatesville? Because we get ready to wrap this thing up. I think we've kept him long enough, man. I just so appreciate you allowing me to once again come into your home and just chat with you, man, and hear your heart in regards to the city of Coatesville. We're not gonna let you go, man. So whenever you think you we went somewhere, we ain't went nowhere. Is there anything you would like to send us on home with? Any last words? Anything? Time's yours.
Yeah. Just to reemphasize, Fonz, like my main point of coming on here today was obviously to check in with you and check in with the city. But I want the residents to be aware of what's going on in their backyard. Not even like obviously, yeah, with this project, but every other things, like be educated on what's happening in your city and understand that you have a voice, and that voice is powerful. And so I think for me, it's continuing to preach awareness and being involved in the political process. Like for me, I'm not a big politics guy, but like the more and more I'm in this field, I'm understanding the importance of it. And so whether you're tapped in or who cares like really what's happening on the federal level, understand what's happening on the local level.
Yeah.
In your city, in your county, even sometimes in your state, but like really like in your backyard, understand what's going on and get tapped in. Like watch those city council meetings, watch those RDA meetings, like check the agenda, like what's going up, what are people like presenting to city council, like get involved in those things, because if not, don't be complaining in a year or 2 years from now when something goes on and you have no idea about it. Like that information is publicly available. So tap into that if you care, right? If you care, tap into those things and have a voice and be educated. So that's what I'll leave with, Fonz. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, and I wish everyone well.
All right, you're the man, Danielle Zurita. You're the last but not least. So look, ladies and gentlemen, this is Brother Fonz from City Town Talk. This has been a barn burner. This has been a good one. So look, if nobody's told you that they love you today, man, you know good and well that Brother Fonz love you. Because what else I'm going to do? I got nothing but some time, and I got a whole lot of feelings about my city. So remember that Coatesville is rising, and Black lives do matter. Peace out.
Sir.
Thank you, there, my man. Talk to you later.
Peace.